Hi guys, my name is Bhavin. I'm speaking to you guys from this amazing Neki platform, that supports so many social causes and also gives a unique experience to learn something new. But if you have skill that you'd want to share with the world, you can use that particular skill to raise funds for the charities that you feel for the most. Today, the charity that I'm going to support is the American Cancer Society. The American Cancer Society is nationwide, a community-based voluntary organization dedicated to eliminate cancer as a major health problems. They have offices throughout the country. One thing that literally entices me to help support them is the core values, which is integrity, which is driven by truth, ethics, and the fact of science, the compassion, courage, determination, diversity. This is all bundled in everything that they do, and they keep these core values to their heart. And that's one of the reasons that I'm today supporting the American Cancer Society. So let me start off by introducing myself. I've lived most of my life in city of Mumbai, then came to US a couple of years back. And in terms of work, I've always been in the media industry, on the OTT world, developing apps, for video streaming, being the first one to launch the first Indian OTT app as a product manager, taken up roles like program manager. And exactly 5 or 6 years back, I started my journey into personal development. And I needed a way. I needed some thought. So it was very coincidental that I met a group of people who were into reading. They were getting themselves coached and mentored, and looked like they were going somewhere in life. And this was a time I thought, why not put my ship into this particular water and see how far I go. And you guys, you won't believe the amount of treasures that I've explored, and come to realize some of the life moment, some of the teachings that I've had have just been life-changing experiences for me. Now today, I want to talk to you guys about a very special topic, and this is a bit of an insight that I've had some time back, and this also reflected some of the reading that I had done. So the question all over the world, that gets asked is the glass half empty or half full? Now, this was an experiment done by some scientists a few years back. It was just a way to determine whether you are an optimist or a pessimist. So if there was a glass, half filled with water, people were asked, "What do you see?" And some people responded, "I see a glass half full," and some people said this was a glass half empty. So then they took a call saying that, okay, the guys who are saying the glass is half full are the positive, the optimist kind of people, and rest are the pessimists. So to cut to the chase, I have a feeling that the glass is never empty, right? So think about a glass which is half full. It has water. That probably water represents your abilities. Water represents stuff that you've learned in your life and has taken you to some place. But then there's other half which could be empty today, but then it's not empty really. It's air. There's nothing called empty. So glass is half filled with water and half filled with air. Now air, I want you to think about air in terms of an opportunity. It is way to be creative, the way to achieve whatever you want, to desire, to take up whatever you desire in life. And this is where I want to take you guys to the journey, give my couple of mindset and some pointers as to the way we've thought, and we've had some of the successes because of that. Now if the half of the glass is air, and that's an opportunity, why are some people not able to grab opportunities? Have you heard about people feeling left out after a point in time? There is something called as a midlife crisis that happens because you've lived half your life and you just don't know, where are you headed? There's a confusion. There's no clear path out there. So why is it that some people are not able to grab this opportunity? Now, it could be simply for the fact that there's too much going on in their life. There are multiple variables that are affecting them. There are a lot of distractions and they're completely overwhelmed. Maybe their current job or studies or whatever that they're doing is taking up too much of time. Then there are some toxic relationship that takes too much of time. Maybe the environment in the house is not very right, or maybe the associations, their friends or people that they hang out with are not right. So it just overwhelms you at times. And second could be the lack of motivation. So you're not motivated enough to do something. They just want to go with the life as it comes. Another one that could let them down, that could refuse them to look at the opportunity or grab them, it could be the past failures, something that they would have had experiences in past which have let them down, and that's the lens that they are practically seeing from into the future. So that past failures dragging them so down that they're just not able to take it up. Or last one that I suffered for a very long time is the lack of confidence. They think they need to do 15 courses in order for them to start maybe content writing, or maybe do 35 lectures, or do more degrees than collect more degrees than the thermometer in order for them to even start working in the corporate field. It's just the lack of confidence. And trust me, over the period of time, I've just come to realize that it's people come in with all different shapes and sizes with the half baked, but then they make sure they put in the 100% to learn, to contribute and to grow. So these are a couple of reasons why I feel people are not able to grab the opportunity even if it's presented to them at the right time. And we hear also about being positive at all point in time. So at one spectrum, you feel that there's the opportunities are not there, and you feel a lack of it, or you feel left out. Another point in time, you're so optimistic in life, which in a way I would I would not say it's the right thing to do too, because you only need to be optimistic when you know where you are, and of course that's a whole new bigger subject. But what I want you guys to realize is it's important to make sure that you chase your dream every single day. Now there are three things that one would need to really make sure that you're chasing the dream or you're learning something new in order to be successful. Number one is you need to spend time. Learning takes time. It will take time. You need to give that amount of time. I used to feel very guilty few months back, and all this while, that if I would take some additional amount of time to learn something and I've not just grasped that concept, and probably a month has passed by, and I would look back and I was like, oh my god, what has happened. But then learning takes time. Everybody has their own different curves. Second point is it will require your energy. You can't have a half-hearted effort put into anything and expect to get any kind of a result. And third thing is it would need focus. That means you will need to remove distractions from your life. Now, having said that, consistency is one of the most important aspect to all these three elements that would go by, right? But you know what, here I just want to give you a blueprint. How I've seen a lot of people be successful. I've read a lot of books on success, and few things that come very, very apparent, very, very prominent in front of me. I would call it a blueprint, but again, it's a blueprint. It's not a guarantee to achieve success, but I am sure if you practice these, it'll always get you closer to where you want to go. So let me tell you what the blueprint is, and what am I going to all talk about now. In order for you to achieve anything in your life, it's so important to have a great self-image. Now, what is self-image? Self-image is something that you think that others are thinking about you. It could be negative or it could be positive. So more amount of time that you spend with yourself thinking what others are thinking about you negatively, you have a negative self-image. If you think people are thinking more positive about you, right, and you think positive about yourself, you feel good about yourself, that's a positive self-image. So what causes a negative self-image? How does that even come? you know and few things that I'm about to tell you, you would also be able to notice that in other person, about how, whether that person is has a poor self-image or a good self-image. you know for number one, negative self-image people are fault finders. Have you seen your friends, or have you seen people around you, anything that happens, they've gone to some place, they've met somebody, they would always be an expert at fault finding. If you are one of them, I would request you to stop doing it and start finding positives in the other. Start finding good things in every kind of a situation. It's hard. It requires you to develop some muscles, but that's about it. You get poor self-image by reading a lot of negative news. We've all, the world's gone through a lot in past year, and now it's recovering. We are seeing healthy side of things. Things are improving, businesses are getting back to place. But then during this particular point in time, there were people who had news channel up in their house, or they were watching it on their mobile phone practically every single minute. They had the numbers at the back of their hand. They knew which state had how many numbers, how many are recovering, how many are dying. Guys, we don't need to know all these things. Negative news will always put you to a bad self-image. Another thing is negative self-talk. Now, we've as scientists have Dr. Shadhamstatter, to be very particular, says that in till the child becomes 10 or 12 years old, he listens to no more number of times than he listens to yes. So that also develops a negative self-image. But then there are things that we inflict upon ourselves. A few things like few things that we say, like everything I eat turns into fat. Why would you say such a thing? Just say that everything I eat, this is very healthy. I'll never be able to clean this mess. You always, some people find the house always messy, and they keep talking about it, saying that, oh my god, it's so messy that I'll never be able to clean about it. Then probably if a child has failed, the mother goes and says that, hey, even your father has failed in math. How do you expect yourself to pass? Mother goes to school, while the child is going to school, the mother says that, hey, don't get run over by a truck. Rather than saying that, you could probably just say, walk safely on the road. Ask anyone how they're doing, and they would go on to say, not bad, going on. Why do you see some just say, I'm doing great, I'm just doing fine, right? A lot of people are religious, and I like I don't mind them being religious or not religion, but then all that we hear from the religious gurus and all these spiritual leaders is about God fury. Oh, you do this and God, you'll be a sinner. You do that and in the eyes of God, you'll be a bad person. But all these religious places never teach us about why God exists and how he loves you more. They teach you how he'll get angry. And if a child misbehaves, the parents end up saying he's a rowdy guy, he's doing this to seek attention. These all are basically all the causes of poor self-image. This will also get you confused. Now you need to change the way you think. The perspective has to change. There has to be a major paradigm shift that happens into you. Now what we perceive and understand and what we interpret is your map. Say, consider you gotta go from point A to point B, right? You punch in your address from to point B. The GPS locates you where you are. You use that particular map, right? So whatever you think and you do is just like that map that's there, that is guiding you to the destination that you want to choose or you want to go. So it's a negative self-image. And second one is, you need to change the way you think, because the way you think is gonna ultimately put you to the way you act. and what you act and the way you behave is just gonna define your destiny. Okay, so another story, about changing your thought process, changing your paradigm, right? And it was very interesting. Now, once a Gujarati businessman is going from India and coming to United States, and he has a layover in Frankfurt, and as Gujus are known, they would carry thepla everywhere. They'll carry their food everywhere. So this guy, he had a layover in Frankfurt airport, and he opened his box and he started eating this spicy thepla. And while he was eating, he would notice this air hostess looking at him. Now, he couldn't help but notice that earlier, first he thought it was so cool, some ladies looking at him. But later on, he realized that that air hostess is basically looking at what he's eating, and he just offers that food to her. Now, that air hostess who's European, takes a bite of that particular thepla, and her eyes start watering, and she had to gulp down a half a liter of bottle of water in order to satisfy what has gone into her mouth, that fury. Now, the businessman who offered her the thepla, he gets a little worried. He's scared now whether to ask him how she felt, because if she says that I did not like it, he couldn't take that upon himself, hearing a no from somebody, or hearing a negative from somebody. But if she says that I liked it, that means she would be lying. But nonetheless, this Guju businessman gathered some courage, and he dared to ask this lady, how do you feel? How do you like it? The words that the air hostess used completely changed the way this guy thought henceforth. The words that air hostess said is, it's different. She did not say she liked it, and that means she would be lying. She did not say she didn't like it just to and she did not insult that businessman out there. All she used the word is, it's different. And guys, that's where the paradigm is. When you're talking to somebody and you don't comprehend, you don't understand, you're angry with what the other person is saying, probably it's just the paradigm shift that you need to have into your life. That is to think that probably the other person could be saying right, which is from his or her perspective. Okay, so there you go. Have a great self-image, have a paradigm shift, think from other person's point of view. Two people could be right about the same situation. Okay, then believe in infinite intelligence. Guys, invest in yourself, in beefing up your belief muscle. You need to somehow believe that you're going to be successful. It's not seen, it's faith. It's unseen. You've not seen it, but you know that it's going to happen to you someday. That high, that amazing feeling has to be with you 24/7. There should be no power on this earth that could put you down or could make you consider otherwise. Like the smallest example of belief is or the faith is that tonight most of you guys are gonna sleep in your own bed, right? You know it. You've not done it yet, but I'm gonna go to my bedroom and I'm gonna sleep on my own bed, right? That's faith. Why can't you exercise that same thing for your future? Same thing, whatever, wherever that you want to go, whatever that you want to achieve, just have this crazy amount of belief that it is happening or it has happened already. And have the abundance mentality. World will offer solutions when you are seeking it. Now, I'll give you an example of an abundant mentality. Now, when in olden time, when the oil was not even discovered, people used to fish out whale, and they used to use the fat of the whale, and use that as an oil, to lamp lights and to do a lot of other things. Now suddenly the population of whales started decreasing, and everybody started shouting, hey, you know what, if the whales go extinct, the world will go dark, we will have no lamps, and the humans will extinct. But suddenly what happened? People discovered coal. They discovered fossil fuel, right? So and then they started using coal. A lot of automobile ran on coal, lot of industry ran on coal, and then that fossils started reducing, and people started shouting again, saying that coal is going to get extinct, and you don't know what's going to happen in life, and human existence is going to come to an end, the businesses are going to go backwards and stuff like that. But hey, they discovered fuel after that, and they started using fuel, right? And we've been using fuel in our cars, locomotives, and into many other things in the industry. Now we hear that the fuel is getting depleted, but there is nuclear fuel that has come into place, and after that there is solar. We know for the fact that automobile industry in few years is just going to go electric, right? So there is an abundance. The world is there. We have enough to serve us. It's just that how much do you believe that you want to take it? There is, consider, this is huge ocean. What is your level of belief? How much of an infinite intelligence do you believe in? Do you go to the ocean with one small spoon trying to extract water, or do you go with the big tanker? Have that bodacious dream, have that clear thinking, and your image of what you want to be few years from now. Next thing is, are you a giver or a taker? More you sow is more you reap. Take your eyes off yourself. A lot of times, when people are negative, they are basically looking inwards and trying to loathe on their problems, their worries, their tension. And most of the times we feel ourselves as victims of the situation. Hey, my friend did not call me, I'm a victim. Hey, I did not get promoted, look, I'm a victim. Hey, my whatever landlords not doing the home right, I'm a victim. Get out of the victim mentality. Put your eyes on somebody else. How can you serve unconditionally? Don't question, just give. Just believe in the power of giving, because as much as you sow, you will reap benefits out of it, right? And you will always reap more than what you've sown, but you will never reap before you have sown. So keep that in mind. Reap, sow, and there will be an abundance into it. And my last point is what really helped me all my life, get me out of the confusion and be a super confident person, is the advent of a mentor into my life. Make sure that you join hands with somebody who's been there, done that, somebody who has a fruit on the tree. Be a great fruit inspector, while choosing a mentor. I speak to a lot of college going kids these days, and they throw the word mentor and the coach very loosely. Anybody who's helped them with some homework, they start calling those guys a mentor. Mentor is somebody who you aspire to be, and he's willing to help you to take where he is the person who's a mentor to you. So make sure you assess and you decide who your mentor is going to be. Choose very carefully about it. And guys, believe in delayed gratification. We want to minimize the valleys that we are going through. Please read books. Try to read at least one book a month. And if you guys have trouble reading, speak to me. I've had trouble reading all along, but then I found a way to make sure that I at least finish one book in a month, and at least that gives me a head start to read 12 books a year. But again, invest into yourself, and that's my closing thought. If you don't invest into yourself, if you don't invest time into yourself, if you don't invest knowledge into yourself, we'll be at a loss going forward, because all the energy that we waste throughout our life is working on something neck down. We eat good food, which goes neck down. We wear good clothes, which helps us neck down, right? But what are we doing to feed ourselves neck up? So please pick up your book. I'll just summarize the points that I've just mentioned. To achieve things into life, this is the blueprint. have a great self-image, have a great self-talk, change the way you think. Think from a different perspective if you need to. Have a paradigm shift in your life. Believe in infinite intelligence. Believe in abundance. There is way more than enough for everybody and all of us. You are not a giver, you are not a taker, but you are a giver. Try to give as much as possible. And last thing is invest into mentorship. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me and you've derived some value from what I had spoken in past few minutes. I'd love to hear from you. Do get in touch with me. I'm on LinkedIn as well, bhavin.gandecha. You can look me up, and I'd love to listen to you. I'd love to connect with you and chat with you. With that, I'm done. Thank you so much, guys. Over and out. Bye.